Today, I'm working on combining some different elements in these custom spreads. Hey y'all, I'm Elisa, the Scrappy Wife behind ScrappyWife.com. Today I'm working on 3 more custom planner spreads for my purple tier Patreon members. And today we have 3 very interesting ones. Barb is looking for an uplifting spread as she works really hard to take care of her mother. So I've pulled the Caregiver sticker book and Watercolor Boxes and Florals Volume 3 from Plan. Aide kind of had a toss-up on what she was looking for. I opted to go with the Dream Seeker sticker book, and we're gonna do kind of a Native American-esque theme for her. And then London said it was up to me. So in that case, I decided to go very fanciful. We're gonna do Flight of Fancy, which is a graphic 45 scrapbooking set. And I think it's going to be colorful and have some mixed media appeal. I'm very excited about it. I hope London loves it. All right, I'm going to put you all on fast forward. Let's go. Okay, first up is Barb's spread. And like I said, she wanted an uplifting spread. She suggested the color yellow, so I am going to include yellow for sure. And I'm going to work on combining these 2 sticker books. The key to combining sticker books is to find the commonality, to find the color, the style, something that is in common between the 2 sticker books. And in this case, Watercolor Florals and Boxes from Plan and the Caregiver sticker book from the Happy Planner, that golden yellow color that's a little bit mustardy, that is in common. These kind of dusty pinks are in common. So that's what I'm really going to use. I'm going to use the florals as the primary background, as what's going to soften the spread. I'm going to use several of the boxes from Plan, and then I'm going to use a lot of the inspirational quotes and stickers from the Caregiver sticker book. Barb is doing the amazing work of being the caregiver for her mother, and anyone that steps in as a caregiver knows that you can use all the encouragement and uplifting that you can get. So I very much hope this spread serves that purpose for Barb. I'm going to work on making sure that the florals are spread throughout the entire dashboard layout, but still letting room for there to be places to write, keeping the functionality in the spread. I was also really trying to avoid putting florals in the lower right-hand corner. I have them in the upper left. Normally, I would also aim for the lower right. I wanted to see if I could balance the spread without putting things in each and every corner. And I do think that I succeed. I think it comes together nicely. I think it was a little bit of a challenge though to balance, because I wanted to bring in so many of the inspirational stickers that really gave lots of great words about being a caregiver and appreciating every moment. I wanted to bring those to the forefront, but I didn't want to overload the spread. And so you can see I scooted those florals down. They're technically not in the corner. I will say that they're not all the way in the corner, but I am trying to fill up that corner. I love filling up the bottom corners of the spread. For some reason, that is just very visually appealing to me. And so I think that's why I tend to gravitate towards it. Now, as I keep bringing in stickers from the Caregiver sticker book, I realize that the green boxes from the Plan sticker book are a little too bright green. They're not quite the same dusty greenish blue color that is in Caregiver, and that's really causing a conflict in my eyes. They're not going together. So I'm going to pull out the green boxes, not going to use that big one, that big bold one. Instead, I'm going to bring in a functional box from the Caregiver sticker book. It's all about balance. You got to have equal representation of both sticker books. You have to have colors that are balanced across the page. In this case, I'm using a lot of different colors on this page. Yes, yellow is a primary color on this one, but there's also a lot of pink, a lot of that maroon, that dusty blue color. There's a lot of colors, and in order to make it really come together, you have to have some sort of balance. It just has to make sense visually. Instead of having certain clusters uh, grouped up in certain areas, you really have to spread those out. All right, you can see now I am transferring the stickers from the sticker guides straight onto the spread. I love using the sticker guides to plan out, especially when I know I'm going to have some issues with balancing color. It's just nice to be able to plan on top of the sticker guide so I can move things around easily. I'm transferring them over to the actual layout. Sometimes things change in the process of transferring. Sometimes I decide to shift things around. For the most part, I leave everything the same here. But I bring in more florals at the end because I can't help myself. I gotta have more florals. I always want my Patreon spreads, any of these custom spreads, I want them to feel very full, very over the top. I never want it to feel like I was holding back on decorating or on stickers. I think sometimes when we're working on our own spreads, we don't want to quote unquote waste stickers, and we want to save some of our stickers for the future. And I always want my patrons to feel like I went over the top and really used all the stickers I could on their particular spreads. All right, I did make the decision to change the spacing of the bullet points. On Thursday, they're spaced 2 lines apart. On Tuesday, it only made sense for 1 line apart. I hope that doesn't bother Barb. It a little bit bothers me. Hopefully it all works out in the end for her. It made sense with how the lines were flowing on those particular pages. So I think it comes together nicely. I just have to cut apart a couple of the places on these pages, and that's going to be it for Barb's caregiver spread. Barb, I hope it makes you smile. I hope it gives you some encouragement, and I would love to hear what everyone thinks of this spread down below. All right, so Aide gave me a couple of options for her spread, and I went with a Native American theme because I immediately thought of Dream Seeker. This is an old sticker book from the Happy Planner that I love. It is just gorgeous, and it has so much of one of my very favorite colors, which is purple. So we're going to bring in a lot of purple. I am going to play with a little bit of scrapbook paper. This scrapbook paper is from 49 and Market. I don't remember which line it is from, but I just was pulling out some purple, kind of dusty looking scrapbook paper. I just like the worn look, and really we're going to focus on the feathers, the dream seeker, the whole vibe for that. It is has a touch of Native American. That's what the feathers feel like to me, and we're just going to go with it from there. So we're going to balance the scrapbook paper with, of course, florals that have the most beautiful arrangements, the most gorgeous colors. It's one of my favorite sticker books. I absolutely love it. And this is my only one. I wish I had more of them because this is one that I think I will never, ever get tired of. As you can see, there is some faux washi in this sticker book. I sometimes struggle with busy looking washi tape. Washi tape that has a really, has a ton of pattern to it in that it has all of these images. Sometimes I struggle on how to use it because I feel like it's too much for the page. In this case, I love that this busy washi tape really gave a little bit more floral to the page. It allowed me, I didn't have a ton of the floral decorative stickers to have everywhere, but I did have the washi. And in this case, it's helping the floral motif go across the page without having to have a ton of floral stickers. All right, you're about to see me jump ahead a little bit here because I lost some of the footage. I was struggling with what color boxes to use on this spread. I actually really wanted to bring in more of the green color that is in the sticker book, but I couldn't balance it out. And then I had all these different color boxes. It was too much. It was one of those cases where I couldn't balance the color enough, so I had to take away some of the color that I was adding. And instead of going with all of these different multicolor boxes, what I decided to do was pull in gray boxes from Mojo Jojo Plans. I am bringing in some hints of color here and there in the boxes, but trust me, this is much less overwhelming than my original arrangement of boxes. it was way too much. It just didn't work with with how it was all coming together. The balance was not there. The gray boxes definitely bring a continuity to the spread, and they kind of anchor it, and they don't fight with all of the other colorful stickers. That's one of the great parts about having some neutral boxes to pull from, even if you are a color loving person like me. Give me all the color all the time, but neutral helps really emphasize the colors that I want. All right, so we need to add the dates here at the top. We're going Monday through Sunday. Again, these are from Mojo Jojo Plans. I use her dated sticker books all the time. They're one of my go-tos, and I love even when I don't have to redate something or change up the days of the week, it just changes up the look, and I think it's so fun to have the option to switch things around. The last thing I'm going to do for this spread is add some rose gold. There's some rose gold splatter stickers that work really nicely. There's a little bit of gold foiling in some of the stickers. I wanted to make sure the gold foiling was represented throughout the spread. So I'm going to pull the rose gold splatters. They are teeny tiny little bits and pieces that you don't necessarily pick them up on camera, but they do make a difference in person. It's just a little sparkle, a little bit more whimsy, a little bit more magic kind of throughout the spread, and I think it helps it really come together. All right, that is going to be it for this gorgeous spread. Let me know what you think of the Dream Seeker spread down below. All right, last but not least, today is a spread for London. Again, London said I could do whatever I want. That is my favorite thing to do on these custom spreads, because then I just get to pick something that I'm very excited about. And I'm very excited about my scrapbooking kits recently. Now that I've moved into my new space, rearranged my craft room a bit, I have easier access, I would say, to my paper supplies. I'm just newly inspired to use them in my spreads. So I am using Flight of Fancy. This is a gorgeous, gorgeous set from a company called Graphic 45 that tends to have they have a whole different look. Graphic 45 has a very whimsical, imaginative storytelling, rich colors. It's a really interesting line that I enjoy very much. So what I did for London spread was I cut down the background paper, 7 inches wide, 9¼ inches tall. I wanted it to overlap, so I did have that torn piece that I layered on top of the purple. Once I had the background pieces together, I cut out the boxes from the original spread, placed them on top, and now you have a very, very custom looking spread. I'm going to have this card. It says "Spread Your Wings," has this beautiful hummingbird on it. And then I'm going to use a lot of rub-ons on London spread. Rub-ons are so cool. It is like kind of like a temporary tattoo. It's different from a sticker in that this is like bonding to the page in a really unique way. It's such a wonderful way to add a big hit of, I don't know, a big impact moment on your page without adding a ton of bulk. So we're going to go with these butterflies down in the corner. To me, the purple brings balance to the spread. Then I'm going to bring in this pink and yellow. All you have to do is place the piece you like on your page, use a popsicle stick or a card, something like that, to rub it on. Literally, you're rubbing it onto the page. And it just, I don't know, it just turns out so cool. I absolutely love using them. And I have never used this particular set of rub-ons, so it was fun to get a chance to play with them on London's spread. For boxes, I'm using Mojo Jojo Plans. Her purple boxes, I'm going to use a couple of different shades of purple actually on purpose, because I didn't have a purple that matched perfectly with the Graphic 45 set. So if that's ever the case, if I just can't find a color that is the perfect match, I usually use shades of that particular color, because then you don't so much notice that it doesn't match perfectly. You just kind of get the purple impression. And the purple is the color I really wanted to bring out the most. So I'm adding boxes, we're adding bullet points. I'm trying to make sure this continues to be a functional spread. You'll notice that I do end up layering boxes over the rub-ons. You can actually write over the top of rub-ons. It is a very saturated look though. So it's like for instance, if you were to write over the top of where those butterflies are, that wouldn't really show up super well. Like it's just so busy. So layering a few boxes over there still allows London to utilize that space, but you don't lose the gorgeousness of the butterflies. All right, I'm going to grab a few more images from the rub-ons. I love Flight of Fancy. I'm trying to figure out where that fits the best. I think right here is beautiful. I want to add that on. And then last but not least, I do add the days of the week at the top. And there is a set of paper ephemera that goes with this scrapbooking set. And I grab that and pull out some stamp looking pieces. The stamps come out really well because they have a lot of orange in them, which is a color that's in the background. I'm going to bring it to the foreground to kind of play with the purple. Love how this spread comes out. And that's going to wrap it up for London spread. So of the 3 spreads today, which one did you like the most? Did you love the caregiver spread for Barb? Did you like the dream seeker spread for Aide? Or did you like Flight of Fancy for London? Let me know down in the comments below. As always, I will link the supplies I used in the description box, so be sure to check that out if you want to try to recreate any of these spreads at home. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Consider hitting the subscribe button as well as the bell notification button. And I just want to give a huge shout out to all of my Patreon members. Thank you all so much for your continued support. There's always room to join us over on Patreon. Head on over to patreon.com/ScrappyWife to find out more. All right. I hope that you have a fabulous day. And as always, keep it creative.